Welcome to Studio 48 Signal Path Saturdays. This is where we talk about equipment that we use in the studio, older equipment, newer equipment, just technology that we like to create sounds with. And today, I'd like to talk about the brand new EarthQuaker devices Afterneath version 3. And it's a wild ride. So I remember in 2014 when I first heard about this pedal when it was announced. I pre-ordered the original version of it and I ended up with number 444. Pretty darn cool number and kind of early in the set. I immediately threw that pedal on my board and have used it on so many songs. It has become such an important piece to my musical puzzle. I just can't say enough good things about this pedal, and this newest version kind of attacks some of the things that I wished the original version had. For example, it has a tail, so when it shuts off, it slowly fades the effect out, rather than the original version, which immediately cuts it off. So that right there just gets me excited. So what is the Afterneath version 3? Well, it is an enhanced otherworldly reverberator. It is a reverb pedal with tons and tons of tiny delays, or pre-delays if you will, added to it to create a very atmospheric and massive sustaining sound. I refer to this pedal as my atmosphere. It's been a very important part of my pedal board for a long time, and this latest version just gets me that much more excited. There's so much cool stuff that I can do with this pedal. First off, cosmetically, we can see that the wizard on version 3 is holding a staff and a sword. Dual wielding. Very cool. The other obvious feature that you can see is the mode knob. Right in the center here on version 3. The original version did not have a mode knob. There was no separate modes. The newest version has 9 different modes to select from. Lots of tonal possibilities. The other big difference is going to be the expression out. You can now control the infamous drag knob with an expression pedal, a feature that we have been asking for from EarthQuaker devices. And there are mods out there to mod your version 1 and version 2 to handle it. But now you can just buy a version 3 and you get 9 modes. So here we have my version 1 and version 3 Afterneaths. The clean sound. I'll go ahead and start by playing the version 3. All of the knobs just right at 12 o'clock. There really isn't a stock setting on pedals this wild, but you know, to me, that's a stock setting. Just put everything at 12 o'clock and see how it sounds. It's a great way to get to know a pedal. We have the length, diffuse, dampen, reflect, drag, mix, and then the mode. Expression is right over here on the other side. The main difference in the knobs between the version 1 and version 2 would be the drag and the reflect have switched places. A bit confusing to me at first. I caught myself messing with the reflect knob when I was trying to do the drag, which is the most fun on the pedal, is messing with the drag knob. So this is version 3. I'm just going to hit one open note just to let it reverberate. This is going to be my version 1, so we can get that quick comparison. The first thing I've noticed is the length on the version 1 is substantially longer time than the version 3. It's still going, and I can even cut it off and boom, it's gone, because the original version did not have the the tail option. Now, another really cool feature about version 3 is the silent switch. The original switch is very, very loud. In fact, I've even heard it in recordings in the background. You can hear pedals getting clicked on some recordings, and I've definitely had a few where you could accidentally hear the pedal. Oh well. So we won't focus too much more on version 1. I really just have that out because this excites me. This is a pedal I've had for a long time. But the biggest difference between the two that I have found immediately is the length knob has a lot longer time period to it. And it just, by nature, is a darker sound, just a little bit more muffled sound to it. So down the line, we'll start with the knobs. So the length knob is the time of the decay. So what I'll do is I've got it at 12 o'clock. Let's hear it cranked up a little bit higher. So I'm going to hit a harmonic again. So it looks like that will actually go on and eventually feed back into itself. Very cool. I find that I do not need that long of a decay, so I usually keep the length down a little bit. Moving on to the diffuse. The diffuse is actually the size of the reverb, or how the reverb spreads out. So we'll go ahead and crank that up. I think I like that guy just up a little bit. It's got a great just spill to it. The way that just jumps in. So the dampen is actually kind of like a tone knob. So as this is increased clockwise, you get a little bit brighter of a reverb. You know, right about the middle, I really like the way that sounds. The reflect is kind of like the pre-delay of the reverb. So when we bring the reflect up, there's just a little bit going on when we hit the note. Yeah, that reflect is really cool. Wow. Right next to the reflect knob is the drag knob. Now, this guy right here, this is what really sold the pedal to me from the very beginning. This just allows you to really get out there with this sound. So I'll hit another note. And that effect can now be controlled with an expression pedal. Super cool and a brand new feature for the version 3. Love it. Right next to the drag knob is the mix. That is the dry to wet ratio on the effect itself. it is still very usable, even with that mix knob all the way up. You can still hear the guitar. It's still very present. Oh, so cool. Very, very cool. All right, so I want to go over the mode functions real quick. The mode is only changing the drag knob. So whenever we're changing a mode setting, it's affecting how the drag behaves in the pedal. So the drag and the mode are very closely related. Starting with mode 1. Mode 1 is unquantized and smooth. It's simply the higher voice to the lower voice. So mode 2 is unquantized and has the slew feature. I could be wrong, but I believe the slew feature has to do with how fast the drag behaves versus how fast you move it. So, as I hit a note, see, as I make that adjustment, it takes a second for it to fully hit the pedal. Other than that slight time difference, there isn't a whole lot of difference between mode 1 and mode 2. All right, so mode number 3 is a self-oscillating 1-volt octave. Mode 4 is a chromatic scale, so it just harmonizes to whichever note you want to throw at it. It's very cool. So if we added an expression pedal to that, you could hit a note, hit the expression, and then it would basically do a chromatic scale to your one note. Very, very fun. So here we are on mode number 5, and it is a lovely purplish lavender color. So this is going to be the minor scale. So when I hit the note and I hit the drag, it will do a minor scale harmonizer to it. I can see how that could cause some confusion during band practice, but very cool sound. So here we have mode 6, which is a major Lydian scale. Just sounds like there's a choir inside my guitar. Mode 7, which is a lovely pinkish color, kind of pinkish. And this one is a pentonic scale harmonizer. So we'll just hit a harmonic and see what happens. So that one's very cool, the pentonic scale. It's like the only scale I know. So here we are with mode number 8, and this is the really cool pinkish violet color, and this is the octaves and fifths. Very cool. So finally we have mode number 9, which is only the octave sound. It will actually omit the other notes from it. So you only have about 3 voices that you can find with it. We'll start right in the middle. I gotta say, I'm a big fan of mode number 1 because it reminds me of just what the Afterneath is known for. I can't say I'm not going to experiment with the other modes. I can't wait to try all of them just for fun on my actual pedal board. The one feature that I did leave out is the fact that this pedal can be ran as a momentary pedal. Here we can hear the sound comes in. And as I lift my hand, the pedal shuts off, or if we're using it on the floor, hold the pedal down, and while we're holding it down, the pedal's making a sound. We lift our foot off of it, and it slowly fades away using the trails.
So that wraps up my video on the EarthQuaker device's Afterneath version 3, an enhanced otherworldly reverberator and my favorite pedal of all time. The sound that this pedal creates is very familiar in a lot of modern music, and I find that it just adds that special flavor that you might be missing. Have you ever heard a sound like this before? Do you have other pedals that create this sound that you like better? Maybe you can share in the comments. Thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next Saturday.